Hey there, I'm Kaiser Neko, and we're back with another episode breakdown. Today's episode, 46. 2 in 1 week! Wanted to get these both done and out of the way so History of Trunks can be worked on completely uninterrupted. This one has some complicated shots, so let's jump right on in, kids! Now, this first shot of Android 18 here, I inserted lip flaps for her as she originally doesn't talk in this shot. This next scene has a more complicated shot, with Gohan being taken from a later scene and pasted over this background. The same background Goku gets here. The last edit in this scene is a callback to Krillin's first encounter with Mr. Popo. Goku's body here is just a little black speck. I used motion blur to give it some sense of motion, and as far as the shaking lookout goes, I cut it out of the original shot, painted the background, laid it back over the shot, and used the wiggle effect and motion blur for the hit. Now, post-opening, this shot was a lot more difficult than it looks at first glance. Here's the original footage. Instead of trying to lip flap this entire mess, I capitalized on the frame rate of the animation. You see, the shaking is animated every frame. As such, I was able to cut every second frame and essentially remove the shaking, leaving the footage, relatively, easy to lip flap. I also did it with this shot, and this shot. Next, you'll see Piccolo's fist coming on screen here. That's from another scene altogether, as is the impact star here. Then, this shot of 17 recovering, I had to replace the background, so I used the roto brush tool over 17. Of course, this next shot is gonna blow some minds, I think. See, in this frame, this is where Piccolo was originally. Why? Because in this shot, they were flying, but I needed them on the ground as I cut them taking into the air. Then I blurred Piccolo, made him teleport, cut out and repasted 17 from this shot, and then cut out Piccolo from this shot here with the roto brush to paste him here. I also slightly darkened 17 as Piccolo advanced. The next edit is super simple. I drew lip flaps for Piccolo in this shot. Now in this next scene, Dr. Brief needed some work done. See, I had to move his lip flaps from this shot and moved his eyes in this shot, as well as edited his eyebrows accordingly. Back to Piccolo versus 17, I ended up drawing lip flaps for 17 here. I also edited Piccolo's eyes here. Next scene, I ended up editing Krillin's mouth in this shot to give him lip flaps. I edited Yamcha's eyes to look down in this shot, and then in this shot to make him look more shocked. I edited 17's arm into this shot, as well as this shot here. Now, things get complicated. In this scene, we wrote a lot of conversation between Dr. Brief, Yajirobe, and Bulma. I gave Dr. Brief some lip flaps here, borrowed from Yajirobe. In this shot, I borrowed lip flaps from Dr. Brief from another shot, overlaid it here, and moved his eyes to look at Yajirobe. Then, I needed him reacting in this shot to Yajirobe, but the shot I needed for him existed in another part of the scene, where Yajirobe was not in frame. As such, I took that shot of Dr. Brief here, used the roto brush, then plastered it over this scene here. That's why the background changes brightness subtly. I also drew some closed eyelids for Brief before he moves his head. I then used that shot of him here, roto brushing Bulma as well. The last edit of the scene? Giving Bulma new lip flaps. In this next scene, I moved Tenshinhan's eyes as the conversation went on. I also animated a smile on him in this shot. I also redrew part of Krillin's lip flaps to give him a closed mouth flap, and I edited his eyes to look at the phone. Next scene, I colored Piccolo's tongue as it was missing color originally, and drew in lip flaps for Cell in this shot. Lastly, in the eye catch, I blew out the window using the shadow tool in After Effects along with a motion blur. The glow beforehand is a Gaussian blur with the brightness and contrast turned up. Also, that room in there? That's Bulma's room from the original Dragonball. And that's it! Whew, that one was a handful. I hope you guys enjoyed. Man, 2 of these in 1 week. I don't even know what to talk about here. We got game stuff. Please give those a watch. You know the drill. Much appreciated to you all for sticking with us. The next time we talk, I'll be going over History of Trunks. Bye!